the net, get the net. Oh yeah.
Hey, take that.
Boy, that thing is fast.
Still there?
Oh no, he's off. I got Paul.
Ah! Mine came off too? Go, Paul. Reel down. Own him.
Oh, look at the color on that thing. So green, so green.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah.
There you go. We're all catching fish now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Somebody grab the net. Bring it over. Grab this pole.
Nice little coho. That's a good one.
Yeah.
There you go. Josh has got one on too, looks like.
Oh, yeah. Got him?
You ripped the thing right out of its face.
Oh, yeah.
Tournament style.
Yeah, that's like the best matchers. Watch out, Paul. Get yours out of this way.
Oh, we're tangled up again.
Watch out. Hand me the net.
It's right there. You got it.
Yeah. Look out.
Oh yeah. Little guy.
Little guy, native, we'll let him go.
All right. Why is he catching such little fish? What's happening over there?
Oh, God! I got 3 fish on or 2. Lift up.
One in.
That's a fatty, yeah.
Gatekeeper.
Get it. Everything you got. Rip him to the boat. Go. Nice meat.
Big one.
Get Martin. There you go.
Good coho.
Nice.
Oh, fish on.
Get him, Andy.
We're in them.
The keeper.
Net.
What?
Net, right here. Oh no. Here we go.
Look out.
I'm into Paul's line.
Left.
Reel broke.
Left. Move it. Oh, quick. Ow. There you go.
Look at that. Reel came off and I hand lined that sucker.
What the heck happened there? Good one, Andy.
All right.
Tip show.
Take a look at that little beauty. What a nice little 6-7 pound coho I got here. And this thing has been on ice since it came out of the water. It's riggered up really nicely, which is something you definitely want to happen before you go cutting into one of these. And that thing is just beautiful outside and in, and that is gonna make for some fine eating. Now, I haven't had any smoked salmon in a good long time, so that is exactly what I'm gonna do with this guy. So let me throw a quick fillet on this, and then we'll put together a brine and get this thing ready for the smoker. Now, these little salmon fillet up real nice and easy. Just make sure you got a good sharp knife that can get all the way through there, and you can do this in one smooth motion. So we're going to start right up here by cutting in at an angle. You'll feel some hard cartilage right there. Just go in right behind that, and don't go too hard. Just go in till you hit that spine. You'll feel it in there. Nice and solid right there. And cut down. Go ahead and go all the way through the belly. And then you're just going to get your knife. There's going to be a couple of hard ribs right at the beginning. Break right through those. Careful not to go through the spine. If you do go through the spine, it's not a tragedy. You can always fix it. And then just run your knife down close to that spine. You'll feel it. Keep it right against the spine so you get as much of that meat off of there as you can. All the way down and right out the back. And that is a beautiful fillet of salmon. Then we'll come in here. You'll see the rib cage right there. And the tips of the ribs are out here. Just kind of slide your knife in there and you can lift up a little on those ribs just to get it started. And then you're kind of keeping your knife angled up and into the ribs. And we're just going to remove that rib cage. Just like that. There's one more rib right up here. Grab that real quick. And now I like to take the belly off, just this thin, flat piece here, including this fin. I just like to run my knife straight down and take off that belly. All right. Now what is left are these little pin bones right here. You run your finger across, you'll feel them, and they're sticking straight up and out. And you can get some pliers, or you can get some fancy pin bone tweezers like these, and you can pull these. Now, this salmon is so fresh, and it hasn't fully relaxed yet, so these might be difficult to get out of there. Yeah, they're really tight right now, and I'm just breaking them off. So what I can do is either wait for this to come out of the brine and then pull them and they'll come out pretty easily, or I can slice them out with the knife. And that's what I'll do on this side just to show you. So feel the pin bones. They're going to run down and they're going to end right about in the middle of that fillet. So go ahead and cut it right where they end. And this piece is already nice and boneless. Now if I want to cut these pin bones out, you can feel them, and then you can see them. I'll just run my knife. They kind of curve down and in, so you can run your knife and follow the curvature of those a little. And now I'll cut here and take off this bottom slice. Now that one is boneless, and all the pin bones are now right along this edge of this sort of upper loin. And I'll just take a very thin slice. I can feel the pin bones. You run into them with your knife and then follow them down. And they do curve just a little inward like that. And this slice contains all those little pin bones. This and this and this are nice and boneless now. Now, back here I also want to take off this little piece, and that's called the collar. Where that fin is. So I'll cut right in, pop that right off. Because along with this belly piece, these collars are incredible when they're smoked, and those pieces there are reserved for the chef. So now I'll flip this guy over and repeat that process on the other side. So now all that's left is to cut this stuff up and get it into the brine. And I like to cut it into kind of smallish chunks. This is probably 2 inches by 1.5 inches. And this thing is only around 3/4 of an inch thick. I'll just cut that as evenly as possible. And now we just got to get this into the brine. And I'm going to go ahead and do this in a freezer bag. That way everything stays completely submerged in the brine. Now I'm going to mix up a very basic brine for this salmon. It's really easy, there are only a few ingredients, but it's really tasty. And if I had to choose one smoked salmon recipe that I had to use for the rest of my life, this would probably be the one. And I'm going to start with 1 quart or 1 liter of ice cold water. Now I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of kosher salt. And that weighs, let's say, 65 grams. I'm also going to add in 1 cup of packed brown sugar. And that's 180 grams. You could also use white sugar or honey here. And the last ingredient I'll add is 1/4 cup or 59 milliliters of soy sauce. That's going to give it a little bit of color and some umami. Now I just got to stir this until everything is thoroughly dissolved. I've made enough brine here for 5 pounds of salmon. That's like 2¼ kilos, and that's just about what I've got in the bag. So now I'll just add in the brine. We'll seal that up, work out that air, and now I'll put that into some sort of container, secondary container in case it leaks. Now for pieces of salmon this size, I'm gonna let this brine in the refrigerator for 8 to 12 hours. Now the brine time is over, so I need to drain off the brine, and then I'll just give this a quick rinse with some cold water. Now we gotta pat this stuff dry and get off as much of that excess moisture as we can. So I'm just gonna lay this stuff down on a layer of paper towels, and then I'll pat the surface dry with some more paper towels. As this air dries, the sugar from the brine is going to set up on the surface of this salmon, and that is going to help it to form what is called a pellicle when I smoke it. And that is that really nice, shiny, almost lacquered finish you get on really good smoked salmon. And if you want to add some toppings to your salmon, like some black pepper or red pepper, now is a good time to do it, because as that sugar sets up, it's going to glue your toppings down really well to your salmon. Now we're all racked up and air drying, and like I said, the temperature out here right now is in the mid-50s, so we're fine like this. But it's gonna get up into the 90s today, so I want to hurry this along. So I'll go ahead and I'll turn on this fan, and that'll speed things up a little bit, and then I'll let this air dry for an hour or two, or until it gets really nice and tacky on the surface. There we go. Now this is really sticky and just barely damp to the touch. So that means it's ready to go. But first, I want to transfer it from the rack it's on to an oiled up rack so it doesn't stick. I'm just going to hit this rack with a little bit of cooking spray, and that should get the job done. Doing a real small batch here, so I'm just gonna run the little electric smoker today, and these guys run at about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Because these are pretty small chunks of salmon, this is probably going to take between 5 and 6 hours to smoke today, but that's going to depend on how dry you like your smoked salmon. I'll only run the smoke for about 3 hours, and then I'll just let it continue to cook without the smoke until it's as done as I like it. And I always use alderwood with salmon because it's delicious. All right, I think we're about halfway through here. I've decided I want to hit these with a little bit of maple syrup for a glaze. It's totally optional, but I'm just going to go ahead and get in there, give them a light brushing, and then we'll let this go for probably a couple more hours. Oh yeah, that is some beautiful looking smoked salmon. Now this is after 6 hours in the smoker, and I just test for doneness by pressing on it a little bit, and I can tell that that is done the way I like it. Now I need to get this cooled down all the way before I dig into it, so let me pop this into the refrigerator and we'll try it out in a few hours. And now, let's see how we did. Oh yeah, get a look at that. It's got some beautiful color on the outside. And the inside looks really nice as well. Let's break that open. Oh yeah, we still got really nice flakiness there. Oh, I can't wait. Check out that bite. Oh my. That is perfect smoked salmon. At least perfect hot smoked salmon, which is the way we usually do it up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's got great flavor. We're talking perfect saltiness, perfect sweetness, perfect smokiness. That's an A+. Oh my. Well, I certainly had the time of my life catching all those salmon, but now I've got this, and this really is the icing on the cake. It's so good, I'm gonna have trouble not eating the whole fish. Well, I hope you can get out and catch a mess of salmon and have the time of your life, and then make yourself a meal to remember. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah. You didn't think I was gonna forget about this belly. Check out that bite.